Welcome back to session 4 in the module 2 IO organization in the subject computer organization. The table of contents or the topics which are going to be discussed in this session are the buses and different type of buses. It's synchronous and asynchronous bus. What is bus? As already discussed in the previous sessions, previous module, bus is a combination of or a group of lines which is used to interconnect the functional units like memory, processor, IO devices, and bus provides communication path for the transfer of data. Bus also includes lines to support interrupts and arbitration. So there are three group of lines are there in the bus: address lines, data lines, and control lines. The control lines includes R/W, the interrupt line, and so many other control lines are included. A bus protocol is a set of rules that govern the behavior of various devices connected to the bus. That means protocol says here rules, it says whichever devices connected to the bus they have to behave properly. That is when to place the information on the bus or when not to place, when to assert the control signals and so on. Bus lines may be grouped into three types: data, address, control. Control signifies whether it is read or write operation, required size of data when several operand size byte, word, long word are possible, timing information to indicate when the processor and IO devices may place data or receive data from the bus. So the timing information also is specified in the control signals. The scheme for timing of data transfer over bus can be classified into synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous bus. In case synchronous bus is a bus which is controlled by a bus, the processor clock. You can see the clock signal is there. It is controlled and all the operations are initiated and it is synchronized by the processor clock. And the in case of write operation, the master places the data on the bus. What is bus master? Bus master is one who is accessing the bus that instant of time, and they initiate the data transfer along with address and commands at time t0. At the t0, master places the data, device address, command on the bus and indicate that it's a read operation. As soon as it places address strobe, strobe is change of signals here, address is placed on the address lines. That address is seen by the slave after a elapsed of half cycle t1 to t0. It will that address will be decoded and seen by the slave. As soon as the slave sees that, it will start placing the data on the data lines of the bus. After that, master, as soon as the data is placed, at the end of the clock cycle 2 t2, master strobes captures the data on the data lines into its input buffer for a read operation. Width of the pulse t1 to t0 depends on maximum propagation delay between two devices. So t1 to t0, this width is maximum propagation delay between two devices connected to the bus. The time taken by all devices to decode and address, because when address is placed on the address lines, the devices whichever connected to the bus all will decode, and after decoding it will identify now whichever after decoding it will match it, that has to identify and start storing placing the data, so that the addressed slave can respond at time t1, that is the elapsed time t1 to t0. At the end of the clock cycle 2, at time 2, the master strobes the data and the data lines into its input buffer if it's a read operation. Strobe means it captures the value of the data. When data are to be loaded into storage buffer register, the data should be available for a period longer than the setup time of the device. The width pulse should be t2 minus t1. It should be longer enough. the maximum propagation time of the bus plus that setup time of the input buffer register. This is the time elapsed between T2 minus T1. It has to do the arrangement in order to read the data and store it into the buffer register. Synchronous bus with a multiple clock cycles, you can see. At the clocks, this synchronous bus with timing information timing diagram, it uses 4 clock cycles. So in the clock cycle 1, uh, as soon as the address is placed, there is exchange address and command requesting read operation appear on the bus. Address is placed, it will be appeared after some elapsed time. Okay, this is change of signals. Here cross indicates the change of signals. Address as well as the command. Now it is shown separately in the timing diagram. After the elapsed time, when the address and command is issued, this is the time here, elapsed time. It almost takes 2 cycles. So slave place the data on the bus and asserts slave ready signal. Slave ready, master ready, slave ready. Here it will acknowledge slave ready signal. The master strobes the data at this instant of time, the beginning of the clock cycle 4, into the input buffer. Clock changes. Slave ready means as soon as the start placing the data, the slave ready acknowledgement will be given to the master. Asynchronous bus. The data transfer on the bus is controlled by a handshake between master and the slave. Handshake means, yeah, I'm sending the data. Yes, a slave will respond the yeah, I'm receiving the data by acknowledgement. Here there won't be an external processor clock. I mean external clock. The common clock in the synchronous bus case is replaced by 2 timing control lines, master ready, slave ready. The data transfer using the handshake protocol. What are the protocol says? The master places the address and command information on the bus. It asserts a master ready signal to indicate the slave that the address and the command information has been placed. In response to this, all devices on the bus decode the address. The addressed slave performs the required operation and informs the processor it has done so by asserting a slave ready signal. Out of all IO devices, only the addressed device will respond. Addressed slave will respond. Master remove all the signals from the bus once slave ready is asserted. Yes. If the operation is read operation, master also stores the data on its input buffer. This is shown in here. At the T naught, master places T naught. Here, this is timing instant, but there is no clock, you can see. Time slot. At T naught time slot, address is placed by the processor. Address and the command information is placed on the bus. T1, at the T1, that addressed device, as soon as address is placed after elapsed time T1 to T naught, master will issue a signal called master ready. After seeing the master ready, after in this T2 minus T1, all the devices, it will decode the address and it will check whose address it is. After that, the slave, only the corresponding slave will respond by asserting a signal called slave ready at the instant T2 time slot. After that, from T5 to T2, the data transfer, slave ready data transfer will be done, and during this the master will start strobe reading the data. T5, the slave receives the information of the master ready signal. From 1 to 0, it removes the data and slave ready signal from the bus. As soon as it sees that slave ready is issued, master ready, it will again remove the information in the at the T4th clock cycle. What is the advantages or disadvantages or the comparison of these two buses? Advantage of asynchronous bus. It eliminates the need for synchronization between sender and the receiver. The tuning is there now, that is eliminated. It can accommodate varying delays automatically using slave ready signal. A disadvantage of asynchronous bus, the data transfer rate with full handshake is limited by 2 round-trip delays. The data transfer using synchronous bus involves only 1 round-trip delay. The delay introduced is more in asynchronous. Hence, synchronous bus can achieve faster rate. These are the references for the session 4. Thank you.